Do we have sound? We should have sound now. Sound and I never get along. So I guess we'll restart. Anthony Taylor here again in the Upper Cumberland Weather Center. You should be able to hear me now. I had that muted on my mic there, but we should be good to go. So let me know if y'all can hear me now. Okay, yes, sound. Everybody's saying we have sound now. Great. So again, we are live in the Upper Cumberland Weather Center, the old studio that will soon be decommissioned and that now has electricity. Special thanks to Upper Cumberland Electric for getting the power restored here. I know a lot of you were without power throughout the region this evening. I guess we were just in the sweet spot to be able to get it restored. But God bless the men and women who worked to get all that done. Definitely a difficult job, and I know one that's going to probably extend throughout the night for some areas, as there are many areas without power this evening. But fortunately, we do have power again here. I'm sweaty right now because I was actually getting set to head to our new studio space. It's not finished yet, but there is some internet there we can work with, and if we need to provide live coverage. The good news is right now, we'll go to radar. We have no warnings in effect. We did have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings issued for Trousdale and Smith counties. Those have since been allowed to expire and been replaced with advisories. So these gray boxes you see, these are advisories, special weather statements. Still some stout storms, maybe some 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. Still possible with these storms as they continue to move towards the east. So Smith County, the storm is just about out of your area, now moving into Putnam County. So Baxter, this will be to you here pretty soon. Cookeville probably within the next 20 minutes or so. Smithville, this is knocking on your door. Again, it's just some brief heavy rain and a gust of wind and a little bit quite a bit of lightning embedded within these storms as well. The storm extends down into Woodbury as well. We had a severe thunderstorm warning down that way that has also been allowed to expire and has been replaced with an advisory that includes Smithville and areas of northern Warren County, again, for the potential of some 50 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts with that line. Now, here's the situation we have right now. I want to zoom out the radar image here. So earlier this evening, we talked about what we might expect for the remainder of the evening. Of course, we had that big complex of storms that rolled through out of Kentucky. I think pretty much every county and almost every area of every county was under a severe thunderstorm warning at some point in our viewing area with that complex of storms this afternoon. Looking at the model data then, it appeared we may be in the clear for the rest of the afternoon and evening. What too terribly sure about that. We did, with earlier model runs this morning, it looked like we might have a cluster of storms roll through during the nighttime hours. But again, this afternoon we weren't seeing that on the models, but now the cluster did form. It's not that significant though, thankfully. It's kind of behaving itself. There were some severe thunderstorm warnings with this up in Kentucky, but at this time it's like we have one lone severe thunderstorm warning southeast of Hopkinsville, and that cell likely won't affect us here. The activity that will be moving through over the next few hours is up near Bowling Green, up in the Brownsville. They're approaching Glasgow and Scottsville in Kentucky, and that'll be moving through our northwestern areas here probably the next hour or two. And again, none of that is severe right now except for that one lone warning again near Hopkinsville. But we will keep an eye on this in case it were to ramp up. It could easily become stronger, or it may not. We don't know yet. One thing that might be a little bit telling is the Storm Prediction Center issued a new severe thunderstorm watch for areas west of us. In fact, I can turn that on here. You can so y'all can see that new severe thunderstorm watch, but it does not include any part of our viewing area. It does include Cannon County and Rutherford County. You can see that scrolling to the bottom of your screen, and areas west towards Nashville, Clarksville. So the current thinking is the strongest of the storm activity, where the severe potential will likely be more focused on areas along and west of I-65 and south of I-24, so away from us. However, we will probably get at least a piece of this cluster unless it falls apart. So especially our northwestern areas, I would say, are definitely in line for this, but we'll have to watch it as it continues farther south and east as well. So again, that'll be our next storm system to watch for the next several hours, again, as that continues to move south. But again, right now, nothing too concerning that we can see on radar. And I'm not convinced that this will be much of a threat for us. But again, we can't rule out another strong, severe storm over the next few hours. So again, we hope for no overnight severe weather. But again, we cannot totally rule it out. It's summertime. It's not like we have a cold front moving through like we do in the winter or spring months, where we get a squall line and we can pretty well pinpoint based on the timing of that front when we might see storms roll through. Summertime's a whole different beast. You get these outflow boundaries and other features that can kick off storms in a very soupy environment, which we are in right now. So again, we'll just have to watch these storms. The good news is we did have the storms roll through this afternoon, and now that it's dark out, we haven't had a whole lot of time to recover since those storms roll through. Now it's summertime, there's still plenty of energy available for storms to work with. It's not like in the springtime when you get storms that roll through earlier in the day can completely rob the atmosphere of energy. We still have some energy to work with, but again, we hope that maybe the severe weather potential for at least the next for the overnight period will be ramped down just a little bit. Taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center's day one out, they do still have us in a slight risk for severe weather, and this runs through about 6 to 7 a.m. in the morning. So even though that severe thunderstorm watch is for areas west of us, we are still outlooked for the potential severe weather through the overnight period. So again, with this cluster of storms set to roll through, we may not be done. So I just want to point that out, not to scare anyone. Again, if we did have any severe weather, likely damaging straight line winds would continue to be the primary concern with that. Cannot rule out a quick spin up tornado, but again, that threat is very, very low. In fact, we can go through the individual threats here. The threat of a tornado occurring is only 2%. Probability of a tornado occurring, that's within 25 miles of any location. So if you're in Cookeville, if you're in Crossville, Carthage, wherever you are, if you draw a circle, 25-mile radius around you, the chance of a tornado occurring, the probability of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of that point is only 2%. So 98% chance a tornado will not occur within that radius. Damaging winds, a bit increased, 15% within that 25-mile radius, and a large hail is 5%. So again, damaging straight line winds again are a primary concern for the remainder of the overnight period. And again, right now we do have storms rolling through right now. This cluster of storms extending from Baxter down into Smithville and down into Woodbury, moving towards the east. So from McMinnville, Sparta, Cookeville potentially, we'll be seeing some of the storm activity over the next 20 to 30 minutes. As far as how far east these storms will progress, that remains to be seen. This cluster could fall apart. It could strengthen. We really just don't know right now. So if you're in Crossville, if you're in Spencer, a lot of unknowns with this. So if you're wondering about your specific community, again, we just don't know right now based on the current trajectory of these storms and the fact that it's summertime and they are random and want to do their own thing. Again, we are just a lot of uncertainties there with these storms. But the overall picture, though, again, not a whole lot of severe weather activity going on with any of these storms that we're seeing. Just that one lone severe thunderstorm warning again up near Hopkinsville, Kentucky, north of Clarksville, Tennessee. And again, we'll be watching this as it moves farther south and east into our region again over the next few hours. But right now, the concern level is, I wouldn't say low, but it's not all that elevated either. So we'll make it through these. Could get a little loud overnight for some areas. Again, I would expect at least a chance for scattered storms to continue at least to the early overnight hours, hopefully tapering off by early morning. But again, the threat of a tornado occurring is very low. But again, if you're just now tuning in, again, it's just been kind of it's been an off day for us here. If you tuned in earlier, we were late getting live with severe weather coverage earlier this afternoon because I do have a day job. I did have other things going on that took priority that I had to take care of before I could go live for those storms. So as the warnings were being issued, I had to wait a bit. And then, of course, we covered the storms for a couple of hours through about 5:30 and then signed off. I actually went out to eat with my wife because, I mean, at that point, supper was out the door. And as far as making it here, and while I was away, I got a notification that our stream cut off, our live channel stream over on YouTube. So I'm able to remote in on my phone, and I looked and noticed that every one of our computers was turned off, which meant the power was off here. And sure enough, checked with Upper Cumberland's outage site, and at about 6:10, 6:15 or so, our power did go out. So we were without power for a couple of hours while I was away, and definitely with these storms approaching, we started getting some severe thunderstorm warnings issued. Of course, my anxiety starts creeping upward, not knowing what's going to happen, but thankfully it's all worked out. Power's back on here. I did have plans to maybe go to our new studio if I needed to do coverage from there. It wouldn't have been pretty or anything, but we could have made it work probably. But fortunately, we are live now. Power's on here, and thankfully we don't have any active warnings right now. So this is just a general update. A few hundred of you are watching. If anything, this day really underscores the need for this new studio. As far as not losing power, we will have a generator backup system in place. Backup batteries, of course, we already have backup batteries, but they can only buy us about 15 to 30 minutes. But we'll have a generator there, so as soon as we can power that on, we'll be good to go for however long we need to go. But that'll be a big help. Certainly, the ability to go live on the fly will be a lot easier, a lot more simple. We'll have better technology in place for all of that. Of course, we'll have the green screen, and it's a whole lot of different things in place. So again, for those who've contributed towards that studio, I greatly appreciate you. We're about 3/4 of the way to our final goal. And again, if you haven't donated, if you want to contribute towards that, again, it's all greatly appreciated. You can go to our Facebook page at the top of the page, find out details there, or you can scroll down. I did make a post earlier about that too. But again, we will definitely be doing big things there. It's going to open up a lot of opportunities for us in a lot of different ways, not just with generator ability and things like that, but also just my ability to eventually go full time with this. Again, having that studio is going to really help with making that possible. So again, for donations towards the new studio, again, go to our Facebook page. I have it pinned at the top, information about that, or if you scroll down through our Facebook page, I did make a post a little while ago regarding details as far as how to support that. But for those who've donated, again, you're very appreciated, and for those who want to contribute, again, you can certainly do so. I'm about to wrap this update up. Again, still monitoring for the potential severe weather over the next several hours, but again, right now that threat's looking kind of low. The storm cluster moving out of Kentucky right now is not severe. Still some strong storms up here. We'll watch them in case they strengthen any. But again, we're not too terribly concerned. If we did have any severe weather, damaging straight line winds will again be the primary concern. We're not necessarily worried about tornadoes. Cannot totally rule one out. A quick spin up. Again, the threat is very low tonight. Again, if you missed that, we did talk about that earlier in the stream. So again, that is your update right now. Currently here in the Upper Cumberland, we do have a few storms rolling through, especially here in Baxter. Got some lightning popping up there down in the Smithville. In fact, we can real quick go to the Cookville Tower cam. We can probably see some of that lightning flashing off in the distance as this storm approaches Cookville. Yeah, you can see the lightning there flashing. We're looking south here. We're not looking at the storm itself. And again, that is again soon to roll into Cookville here in a matter of moments. We can also look at Smithville. See a lot of lightning there in the Smithville area. Again, the storm just rolled through Smithville. Heaviest rains now coming to an end. And again, you can see the lightning flashing there. A lot of very electrical storms. So if you get one of these in your area, you definitely want to be indoors regardless if there's a warning or not, just because of the lightning potential is certainly pretty serious. But again, a lot of lightning right now in Smithville as the storm approaches. We can also look at Sparta. You can see the storm off in the distance there. You can see the towering clouds there, illuminated by the lightning flashing in the distance. Again, this is looking west back towards Smithville, that same storm we were just looking at Smithville. This is the view of it from Sparta. And not seeing as much lightning in this end. Well, there you go. There's some pretty good lightning there. So, again, electrical storms extending from Baxter down to the Smithville, moving east towards Cookville and Sparta, and potentially down into McMinnville as well with time. So again, we'll have to wait and see how far east these storms will make it. If we go back to radar real quick, I'll also show you that we do have a few new cells trying to pop up here near Gallatin, north of Hartsville, over into Gainsboro. So again, going to be an active evening, it looks like, at least with some scattered storms around. Hopefully the severe threat will remain low, but again, if we do have any warnings issued, they'll likely be for that damaging straight line wind potential. Of course, we'll be right here covering them should any warnings be issued, but I'm going to sign off for now and go enjoy some time with my family. So y'all stay safe and God bless.